Oil sector analysts crave for continuous naira for crude deal. Quest for enhanced security. Minister of Police Affairs Ibrahim Gaidam calls for upscaling of interagency collaboration. Kogi State Government gives update on upgrade of primary healthcare facilities. Hello and thanks for joining us on the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inamiti. Now details of the news. Key stakeholders in Nigeria's oil sector are advocating for the continuation of the Naira for crude deal, citing its positive impact on fuel prices and the foreign exchange market. However, experts say it's a commercial transaction that must be premised on the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act of willing buyer, willing supply basis. Lydia Sampson reports.
The initiative, which began in October 2024, allows local refineries like Dangote to purchase crude oil in Naira, reducing reliance on dollar-denominated transactions. However, industry experts are calling for review of the model to align with international benchmarks. This is due to challenges such as forex risks and sometimes the mismatch between Naira sales proceeds and dollar-denominated crude purchases.
Naira for crude is a good initiative, but we have to change model. 6 months to try. We need to put a short-run perspective, probably 365 days.
Crude he was getting in Naira, it was not the supply was getting from that source was not overwhelmingly covers the demand that the refinery has. And my final point would be it is important for that refinery to also export.
They believe a revised model could mitigate financial risks for refineries while maintaining the policy's economic advantages for the overall good of Nigerians.
Petron was very supportive and advocated very strongly that the Naira for crude should be, activated. And we were very, very glad when the president and his economic team saw it fit to promote and ensure that that policy became active.
What will be most important is for Nigerians to be more knowledgeable, to stick with facts, and thereby making the decision-making and the governance process easier and better for everyone.
As talk progresses, stakeholders and Nigerians are hopeful for a balanced agreement that supports both local refining and international market standards. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Sweden's exports to Nigeria are set to hit $51.81 billion in 2024, and expectations are high. 2025 following several commitments by Swedish investors. This explains why Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tuga is looking at the Nigeria-Sweden relationship. The reactions articulated by Garba Natala show that both governments want to explore areas of mutual cooperation in critical sectors.
Ranging from peacekeeping to several reciprocal support agreements. We've always worked well on the international stage where we support each other's candidates.
And we are so proud of Swedish companies, approximately around 40 companies at the moment invested already in your beautiful country.
This was when the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, received in audience the Crown Princess of Sweden, Victoria Desiree, in Abuja. Again, it is a reciprocal visit at the time Vice President was in Sweden last year, where several Swedish investors committed to investments and partnerships worth millions of dollars in Nigeria's digital economy, health, agriculture, and other critical sectors. A year-long campaign focused on maternal and newborn health is the target for nations in 2025 to end preventable deaths and prioritize women's long-term well-being. Elizabeth Omorui, who was part of a health walk in commemoration of 2025 World Health Day, reports that WHO urges nations to accelerate actions to save more lives through integrated health services.
As 2030 crawls in gradually, reducing maternal mortality ratio is expected to be less than 70 per 100,000 live births.
Some women, headache, all these kinds, small challenges of body pain, stomach pain, all these kind of things.
Critical actors in the health sector are optimistic that through universal access to sexual and reproductive health services, commitment to equitable, accessible, and quality health care will reduce the prevalence of maternal mortality to the barest. Achieving this target informed this walk to raise global attention to extend life expectancy.
Health is an outcome to everything we do, and I'd like to commend the Nigerian government for taking the stage to really initiate action to accelerate reduction of maternal and neonatal mortality.
Now, local governments are expected to play active parts in this area of improving primary health care to ensure that more of our people continue to have healthy beginnings for a hopeful future.
Poverty and inadequate community health workers, they say, pose risks to healthcare delivery. They recommend political commitment to public health. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has called on stakeholders and other Nigerians to work towards creating a world where mothers can safely give birth and children can live healthy to reach their full potential. She made the call in her message marking this year's World Health Day with the theme, Healthy Beginnings, Hopeful Futures. The First Lady, who notes with concern that far too many women and newborns lose their lives daily due to preventable complications during pregnancy, childbirth, and postnatal period, insists that no mother should have to risk her life to bring a child into the world, and no newborn should be denied a fair chance at survival. While congratulating all health workers for their great sacrifice to make the world a healthy place, the First Lady renews her call on stakeholders to invest in maternal and newborn health, not only as a moral responsibility, but also as a fundamental cornerstone of sustainable development. In January this year, a total of 88 primary healthcare facilities were flagged off for upgrade across Kogi State, with an official completion deadline set for April 31st, 2025. In this report, correspondent Jonathan Omajali takes a look at progress work made so far in meeting the target. This report will come in our subsequent bulletins. Moving on, building an infrastructure legacy that powers economies, sustains agriculture, and protects the planet for generations to come is a collective responsibility of all citizens. This dominated discussions at a media briefing in Abuja, where experts believe that no single government or organization can tackle the infrastructure gap alone. There, the urgent need for an infrastructure dialogue for the way forward. The National Human Rights Commission says it has received 246,200 complaints for the month of March. Executive Secretary of the Commission, Tony Ojukwu, made this known in Abuja on the presentation dashboard for the month of March. Reflecting on the progress made, the Commission said it will confront the challenges that persist with a clear commitment to advocate for justice, dignity, and the fundamental freedom of all Nigerians.
And I believe that the impact of the dashboard is really being felt. I can tell you that a lot of agencies look forward to this dashboard every month as a kind of compass for them in their approach to engaging the human rights situation in the country. But all hands should be on deck to see that these number of Nigerians who are complaining, that their complaints are assuaged at the end of the day.
Related violations and complaints continue to be the highest, followed by freedom from discrimination. We have tried to highlight in previous presentations that the reason you have freedom from discrimination as very high is because of the components of freedom from discrimination.
The report comprises human rights violations against state and non-state actors. Experts have called for increased local sourcing, backward integration projects to boost food security. Details with Alika Okpanachi Arwa on Business News.
Nigeria's food supply chain is troubled by inefficiencies that experts say stifle productivity, increase post-harvest losses, and leave the country heavily reliant on imports. Industry stakeholders are advocating for improved backward integration, stronger infrastructure, and better policies to bridge the gap between the farm and the markets.
I think our problem has always been planning through from policy to getting strategies to sustain some of these policies. We should sit down and be strategic about it. And we have the land, we have the farmers, we have the skill. It's just the will of the government to push so that we become self-sustaining in agriculture and we can start exporting and we'll cover what we've lost.
They observed that agriculture is a whole value chain from farm to market. Therefore, for local sourcing to be successful, there needs to be a clear end game. In another development, Nigeria's first ever domestic dollar bond has won the prestigious West African Deal of the Year award at the 2025 Global Banking and Markets Africa Awards. The bond, which was issued in August 2024, raised an impressive $970 million, surpassing its initial target of $500 million by 180%. With Business News, Alika Okpanachi Arwa.
Building an infrastructure legacy that powers economies, sustains agriculture and protects the planet for generations to come is a collective responsibility of all citizens. This dominated discussions at a media briefing in Abuja, where experts believe that no single government or organization can tackle the infrastructure gap alone. There, the urgent need for an infrastructure dialogue for the way forward.
The concept of infrastructure dialogue is built around having a conversation on how to make Nigerian infrastructure better and how to improve on it. If you don't discuss anything, you can't get a solution to it. So the easiest way to get a solution is to establish a conversation. And once you hold a conversation, you begin to see a vibrating thought flow, a vibrating conversations, arguments, schools of thought that you never imagined will begin to fall into place.
The Minister of Police Affairs, Ibrahim Gaidam, has raised the need to upscale interagency collaboration and intelligence sharing among security agencies to address Nigeria's multidimensional security challenges. The minister stated this at the 2025 Army War College Nigeria Interagency Security Seminar, a critical component of Module 3 of the Army War College curriculum, and provided a platform for knowledge sharing and policy dialogue to improve interagency synergy.
The of operations within Nigeria's contemporary security landscape should serve not as a source of fragmentation, but as a catalyst for synergy. Our ability to optimize multi-agency efforts will determine the effectiveness of our responses to stress and ultimately our success in ensuring the safety and security of our nation.
The current scale and complexity of modern conflicts across the world underscores the significant role that military operations play in restoring and maintaining peace and stability.
This seminar serves as a platform to deepen cooperation, enhance coordination, and share best practices in security management. By working together more effectively, we can build a more responsive and adaptable security architecture to counter threats and safeguard national stability.
The seminar for Course 9 2025 is designed as an expanded forum to promote interaction among stakeholders in the security sectors and policymakers. This is the News Desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports after this break. Stay tuned.
Celebrate Ramadan with Bafi and enjoy up to 40% off on selected products from living room, dining room, bedroom, and royal sets. Pay less, save more, and refresh your home for iftar gatherings and cherished moments with family and friends. Visit our showrooms in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and Enugu, or shop online to enjoy our exclusive Ramadan sale. Let's make this Ramadan unforgettable.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Nigeria is celebrating its inaugural National Policy Day today, April 7, 2025, marking a historic occasion to honor the sacrifices and contributions of the Nigeria Police Force. Guest on Good Morning Nigeria emphasized that the week-long event initiated by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu aims to strengthen police-community relations through medical outreaches, exhibitions and community engagement programs.
The Police Day, the National Police Day started with activities on the 2nd of April, and it's climaxing, today. And now you have various police commands, like I think Bauchi Police Command talked about community engagement for crime prevention, intelligence sharing, and I think Sokoto is talking about medical outreach, how to get to the public, to a kind of support. So what is happening today is just the climax. So the various teams, I think various police command, the 36 plus the FCT commands are having various teams in terms of strengthening police-community relations, in terms of cross-border issues, in terms of recognition of police sacrifices and all that. So all this is meant to do. And now the professionalism, what is going to be showcased at the Eagle Square? You look at the various police performances, you look at some of the few equipment they have on display, and all this is to instill confidence on the mind of the public.
It also pays tribute to fallen officers who died in the line of duty. The celebration, the guest noted, underscores the importance of the police in safeguarding lives and property while fostering public trust. This day also serves as a testament to the resilience and dedication of Nigeria's police personnel. Council chairmen in Kogi Central Senatorial District have been challenged to take ownership of the local vigilante groups operating in their councils for effective security in their areas. Controller General Kogi State Vigilante Service Commander Abdurrahman Meriam Adinoyi, retired, gave the advice during his tour of the zone. Solomon Ayedeyin reports.
Kogi State Vigilante Service, a community-based security outfit, is in the nucleus of the state security architecture, enhancing government's efforts in tackling crimes, collaborating with conventional security agencies to eliminate criminal activities and restore order. The visit of the Controller General, Kogi State Vigilante Service Commander Abdurrahman Meriam Adinoyi, retired, to Council Chairman in Kogi Central is in furtherance of the organization's quest to foster collaboration for effective service delivery. His first port of call was at Davi Local Government Secretariat, where he rallied the council chairman, Bashir Okateon, to work with the Kogi Vigilante Service for better security in the area.
Even though we have other conventional security agencies, the Kogi State Vigilante is our first line of defense. We understand the topographical terrain.
The synergy we have today is going to make us to improve on our security.
The team also met with the chairman of Okene local government area, urging him to constantly monitor activities of the service under his jurisdiction.
We will continue to work together all the time. And they too, they know that I am standing behind them all the time.
At Okehi, both parties agreed to synergize to further enhance safety of life and property in the area.
It's a courtesy visit that I reckon with.
The Controller General, Kogi State Vigilante Service, also paid a working visit to the service command offices at Adavi, Okene, and Okehi, encouraging his men to remain steadfast and dedicated to duty while appreciating the goodwill of Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, particularly on their welfare. In Okene, Kogi Central, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Professor Anthony Adegbulugbe, a distinguished academic and Minister of God, marked his 70th birthday with a memorable celebration that began with a heartfelt Thanksgiving service at the Christ Apostolic Church, All Saints Chapel, Abuja. The event brought together family, friends, colleagues, and well-wishers to honor the professor's incredible contributions to education and society. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Through prayers, hymns, and testimonies, the Thanksgiving service celebrated the wisdom and dedication that have defined Professor Adegbulugbe's illustrious career as an academic, businessman, and pastor at the Christ Apostolic Church. It was a moment of reflection as the celebrants spoke on events that shaped his life.
I said what shaped my life, all my life, it's been a story of grace. And that story of grace is not ending yet, it's still unfolding at the age of 70.
He's ready to do anything for his children, for me as a wife, and for anybody that comes his way that needs help.
It's an epitome of goodness, kindness, love, generosity, and such a simple and humble man.
The celebration continued with a grand reception that showcased the professor's influence and legacy. Professor Adegbulugbe is also the Chancellor, Joseph Ayo Babalola University, Osun State, and was renowned for being the best graduating student from University of Ife in 1976 with a perfect grade point average of 5.0.
He is a genius. You can see that from his profile, both in and out of academics.
He's full of humility, understanding, very hardworking, and compassionate.
He's completely demoralized. You wouldn't know what tribe he belongs to when you meet him. He's fearless.
The cutting of the birthday cake represented a new era in the life of the professor as he joins the League of Septuagenarians. Jesus! Two books written by the professor were also unveiled at the event. To crown this celebration, the Christ Apostolic Church in a later event inaugurated Pastor Adegbulugbe as the first superintendent of the All Saints District Coordinating Council in FCT. Talking about double celebration.
Let's now take some news from the foreign scene.
Marine Le Pen, the leader of France far-right National Rally, RN, has called her recent court conviction in which hunts she was found guilty of helping to embezzle 2.9 million European Union funds between 2024 to 2016 allegedly used by her party. Consequently, she was banned from running for office for 5 years, but Le Pen has appealed the decision. During a rally in Paris, Le Pen rejected her ruling, saying it was a political decision.
Ce n'est pas une décision de justice.
This is not a legal decision. This is a political decision.
C'est une décision politique.
Her supporters also voiced similar sentiments, with Jordan Bardella, RN's president, describing the ruling as an attack on democracy and an attempt to stop Le Pen from running for president in 2027. In another development, large protests took place across the United States, with people in many cities expressing their frustration over President Donald Trump's policies. The protests called the handoff.
Hands off! Hands off! Our research! Our research! Hands up! Hands off! Our science! Our science!
Demonstrations were organized by over 150 groups, including civil rights organizations, labor union, LGBTQ plus advocates, and election activists. The demonstrators were upset about several actions taken by the Trump administration, such as cutting federal jobs, closing social security offices, deporting immigrants, and many more. The protests aim to show opposition to these policies and bring attention to the concern of various communities. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdul-Wahab, NTA News.
And that's the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella in Amity.